Welcome to our meditation together. And as an introduction to mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist practice, perhaps everything that you meet, everything that you encounter, everything that you hold, everything that you see, everything that you hear is very important. When I was in college, I took a history class, and near the end of the term, preparing for the final or something, I asked the professor, I said to the professor, so this little detail in history, this isn't really so important, so we don't have to remember it. And he looked at me very kindly, and he said, looked at me, like he looked into my soul, kind of, and said to me, everything is important. And that really stuck with me. Everything is important. Some people say there's no sound, and is that right? Let's see, let's wait and see if there is, other people say, sounds good here, okay. So I'll continue. So this idea that everything is important, everything is of value. And what would it be like to live if that was the case? Everything is of value, everything is important, that you don't want to miss anything. And the idea is maybe everything that you, in the moment, you want to really be there for it. It's one of the things I learned from Zen training, was this very idea, to meet each thing, every moment, as the important thing, as the valued thing. And in order to do this, the key is to be able to bring our attention to what's going on, to bring our attention to each thing as if it's the most important thing. And mindfulness practice can be seen as a training to develop such a capacity of attention. And to do that, it actually helps if we appreciate that what's happening to us here and now is valuable, is important, whatever it might be. That each breath is appropriate to meet and fully receive and be present for as the most important thing, as a very important thing, valuable thing. That every feeling, emotion that comes along is important. Every sensation, every thought and activity of the mind. But as soon as we cling to it, as soon as we pick it up and get involved in it, resist it, ignore it, deny it, we diminish its importance, and we diminish ourselves in the process. We diminish our capacity to really offer full attention to this thing. So of course we can't do this for everything happening in the present moment. So we take our time, settle in, and we do it for what's most prominent. We do it for what's maybe most simple, to train ourselves to bring attention which is not scattered, not distracted, not swept up in thought or swept up in reactions, boredom, or the grass is greener somewhere else. There's more important things to do. Just here with this. Everything is important. You are important. And you are so important and valuable, precious. it's important not to diminish oneself by being lost in thought, closing down with reactivity and clinging and resistance. So important to stay fully open here. And that's why we train ourselves in the training that everything we bring our attention to is important, maybe the most important thing of the moment. So to take a meditation posture, part of the art of meditation posture is to take a posture which is solid, like you're definitively assuming a posture of attention in whatever way that works best for your body. And gently close your eyes. And the thing that's most close in, most intimate, here and now, in our direct experience, is our body. Valuable, important in its own right. And to begin the process of meeting our body as the most important thing of the moment, you might take a few long, slow, deep breaths. As you breathe in deeply, to feel your body as widely and broadly as possible, especially in the torso. And as you exhale, to release and settle into your body. Exhale and come home to this body, relaxing the tensions that are kind of pulling away from the center. As you exhale, settling maybe the weight of your body all the way down into the bottom of your belly. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And as you exhale, relax further. Relaxing some of the tensions of the body is a way for the body to become whole. The body all works together. So no part of our body is closing down or pulling away or tightening in on itself. As you exhale, relaxing the face. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the belly. Relaxing and settling the belly down to the very bottom, core of it all. And then giving your attention over to your breathing, as if breathing is the most important thing. As if it's your very first breath. The inhale is the first inhale. Maybe as if your exhale is the last exhale. Something so important. And what's it like to give attention over to the breathing? Relaxed, open, maybe even loving attention, as if breathing is the most important thing. And if anything becomes compelling, take a moment to recognize it, appreciate it, as if it's the most important thing of the moment. It's so important, you don't want to interfere with it or latch onto it or pick it up, get involved. So important, you just want to let it be itself, recognizing it as it is, with care and attention. And then begin again with your breathing. Whatever arises, don't dismiss anything, belittle anything. If it takes you away from your breathing, be content to be mindful of it for a few moments, and then begin again with your breathing. because each thing in itself is important. You don't have to be trying to get something or get anywhere. In a sense, you're already arrived where you need to be. Here, offering your loving attention, your caring attention to each thing. And it's the nature, quality of your attention. Relaxed, open, clear, present. That's the real way in which we discover each thing is important. As you're aware of your breathing, as you become aware of anything, relax your awareness too. Your awareness is also the most important thing. And don't compromise your awareness by straining or pushing or doubting. Relax and allow the awareness to do its thing simply, openly. In whatever way awareness is aware, that's enough. Awareness, aware of breathing. whatever is important calls on us to care for it, to have a sense of care, both caring for its, getting a sense of its value, we care for it, but also to offer our aid, our support, our goodwill for it. All things, even if we put something in the trash, if it's important, that also, we don't toss it away. Don't need to use words like tossing or discarding, but rather we place it in the trash. Not as an afterthought or an aside, but as if placing something in the carefully and well, and so it can go on to its next stage of existence, to recycling or the dump or wherever, with our care and our intentionality. And for all people, all the living beings of this world, to take the time to let them be the most important thing of the moment. We can care for others as well. We can care for their welfare and wish for their happiness and well-being. Maybe there's something, some way in which seeing each person as valuable and important, where it becomes almost second nature for some part inside of us to care about them, to value and appreciate, so that there's goodwill, well-wishing. And if that well-wishing is a light bulb, turning on the light bulb of metta, of kindness, so that it radiates and shines out from us almost as a light, as a glow, as a care, a warmth. And as we come to the end of this meditation, to send out with our light, with our care and goodwill, with our attention, our well-wishing, that may all the people that we know in our lives, may they be well. May they be happy and safe and healthy. May they be at ease in their life. And may those people that I encounter today, in person or in communication or learning about them in some way through the news or some way, they are also important. Each living being has importance. And perhaps some aspect of goodwill can travel from you to them. Some kind gaze. May all of you be happy. May all of you be healthy and safe. May all of you be at ease in your life. And then to turn that kindness and goodwill to yourself. That you yourself are also important. At times, you're the most important person for you yourself. You're the one that you're most intimate with, the one you know the best. And to wish yourself well, to aspire, to wish and work for your own happiness. You might say to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy and safe. May I be at ease. May I be free. And may it be that on this day that you experiment living a life as if each thing is important. Each thing is something you can care for. And every person is someone who you can offer your goodwill. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. And may all beings be free. And then to continue the talks on loving kindness, on metta, goodwill, I delight in just saying those words. I think they're such wonderful qualities, and touches something precious and valuable inside to just evoke the qualities of metta, kindness, friendliness, goodwill. And that wasn't always the case for me. When I was first introduced to the teachings of metta, loving kindness, I had a background where the way I understood them is that they were artificial. They were kind of creating artificially feelings of goodwill or kindness. They were kind of sticky or excessively sweet or something, and maybe sentimental, and I was much more practical and pragmatic. I just wanted to have a spirituality that was just about waking up, just about being present in a direct, unmediated way. And this loving kindness thing was just kind of getting in the way. And so when the teachers, my early Theravadan teachers, would do guided loving kindness meditation, I just tuned them out and just continued doing my basic mindfulness practice until such a time that through the mindfulness itself, it was kind of like mindfulness is a tenderizing force. Something settled, relaxed, something way I was holding myself closed began to open. And at some point, I started having this very nice feeling inside that was kind of new to me. And it had a very, very pleasant, very easeful, warm, nice feeling, very different than compassion, which I had already tapped into through practice, but this other thing. And then at some point I thought, maybe this is what these teachers are talking about. Yes, it is. This is what they mean by this goodwill and this metta. And so rather than being something I had to construct or make happen, it was welling up inside. And then recognizing it, then the whole thing about practicing metta, loving kindness, became quite valuable for me and a very valuable part of my life and a life. And so when I say these words at the beginning of metta, goodwill, kindness, just saying the words kind of touches something in my heart that kind of has a feeling of kind of a little bit singing. My heart sings a little bit to those concepts and ideas. And so anyway, so this is a topic for this week. And one of the things I want to say is that in emphasizing goodwill and loving kindness, and this tradition, Theravadan tradition, also does it for oneself. Also, meditation practice is closing your eyes and kind of focusing inwardly to your own inner experience. It's easy to criticize it as being self-centered. In fact, back in the early years in which I was meditating, I haven't heard this for many years now, but people would complain that people doing 40 minutes of meditation each day were spending their time being selfish. And, someone who's religious should really be out there doing things for the world, sacrificing themselves. And the people who complained about the selfish meditators meditating for 45 minutes or 40 minutes or however long it was, were probably spending 2 or 3 hours a day watching television. But that television watching belonged to a different domain of life than the religious life. And the religious life should really be about being altruistic. And doing religious life that was, inward, what they saw as being selfish. I don't think it's that way at all, and certainly wasn't for the Buddha. It's not a self-centered path, because self-centeredness, being kind of preoccupied with oneself, is a way of actually harming oneself. And if you really care about yourself and see yourself as important, you wouldn't be selfish because of the harm it does for oneself. Also, the idea is that there's a mutuality in this world of ours, that the more we care for ourselves and love ourselves and free ourselves, the more that we benefit others. And the more, if we benefit others without harming ourselves, that we're also benefiting ourselves. And so this practice of loving kindness, you can see this in it. That as we offer our care to others, this metta care, this way of this kindness and this friendliness, we benefit also, because if they're really genuine, not artificial, not forced, not obligated, but arising from this kind of wonderful place inside, that as we express it, as we live it, this vibrates, this flows, this opens up, there's a warmth happens here. It's nourishing for the person who has the kindness. Compassion also is meant to nourish the one who's compassionate. And if we're not somehow nourished, or there's not some satisfying feeling in having loving kindness, it probably isn't quite loving kindness, or it's loving kindness that's mixed up with other things. And so in loving others, the loving person benefits. And in the teachings of Buddhism, the loving person is allowed to benefit from the love. It's not selfish, it's just a byproduct. It's not selfish because developing oneself and growing oneself is a way to become a person who's more beneficial to others, more able to meet others and really see other people and offer a presence as if that person is important, maybe the most important person at the moment of the time. And if we diminish ourselves and feel somehow that we're less and not important, or we demean ourselves or critical of ourselves, or don't have this care and valuing of ourselves, then actually we have less to offer others. Then when we meet someone else, we're not really meeting them fully. They don't feel the full goodness of who we are. They feel a kind of goodness if we're trying to be nice, but it's not really full. And it might be a little bit trying too hard sometimes. But to relax deeply and be at ease and be at home in oneself, and to feel that, regardless of one's foibles, regardless of our shortcomings, that we are completely deserve and appropriate for us to love and care for this being here for ourselves. It isn't like everyone in the world deserves love and care, except there's one exception, one person who just doesn't make it the cut, and that's oneself. It doesn't work that way. Everyone is. So this practice of mindfulness, this practice of loving kindness, is a practice of including caring for oneself. And mindfulness is a self-care process. So the idea is to care for ourselves and love for ourselves, see ourselves as important, and really learn how to soften and relax the ways in which we suffer, the ways in which we close down and diminish ourselves, so we have more to give others. You can't teach a foreign language unless you learn the language first yourself. You can't, there's many situations where you can't learn teach or a path of freedom unless you've been on that path for yourself. And you can't know love. You can't offer love unless you really know it here for yourself. And so it's okay to benefit from the practice of love, of kindness, and all that. Now, it's not selfish, this focus here, and this love for ourselves, because it's possible, one of the great delights of, I think, a spiritual life, and I've heard other people in other religions say this outside of Buddhism, that it's possible to have lots of love for others, warmth, kindness, friendship, goodwill, whatever those words work for you, and not need to have it come back. So our well-being doesn't have to be dependent on being loved by others. We have a bigger need to love, as adults, we have a bigger need to love than we do to be loved. And if we have a strong need to be loved, chances are that need, I want to respect the need for sure, that need is most benefits, or is more found or resolved if we're the one who love ourselves. If we can learn to offer care and kindness and goodwill to this person here. And if we do this, if we practice the practice of loving kindness, or just practice more goodwill in our life and learn to explore it and feel it and appreciate it when it's there, and expand it, enhance it whenever we can. The Buddhist tradition lists 11 benefits that come from doing loving kindness. And the ancient description of this specifies it's really developing this to a high degree, but I think we get some of these benefits even if we just start doing it in small ways. So it's kind of a delightful list, and I wanted to read the list of 11 benefits of loving kindness. 1 sleeps happily. 1 wakes happily. 1 has no bad dreams. 1 is loved by others. So one doesn't need to be loved by others, but one is loved by others. So that's kind of a nice balance. And one is loved by non-humans. So maybe that means animals, or maybe it means the devas. Buddhism believes in all these kind of devas that are floating around. And because the next one is guarded by the devas. And I think that when one practices kindness and friendliness and goodwill, that there are seen and unseen ways in which the situation, the people around us then treat us differently, and there is a kind of protection that comes with it. A fire, poison, or sword won't touch one. So I don't know about that, but it's quite a wonderful benefit if it's true that you're protected from fire and poison and weapons. The next one is good for meditators. One's mind becomes concentrated quickly. So one's mind becomes concentrated quickly because you have less to be agitated for or less to be upset about if there's more love, and so it's easier to kind of get settled. And then it says here, number 9 is one's complexion becomes clear. So that's nice. It's a lot cheaper than other ways of getting a clear complexion. One dies with a mind free from confusion. Now this is a real benefit. I think how we die is, I just see it as to die well, to die at ease, at peace, to die with kind of an open heart, without confusion, is one of the great potentials or possibilities. And mindfulness is said to support that, but so does this goodwill, this metta. And then the 11th one, if there's no higher attainment is reached, one is reborn in the Brahma realms. And so some of these benefits speak to some of us, us moderns, and some of us don't, but I just delight in this grand list of wonderful benefits of it all. I'll read you one more, that it says that, a wonderful quote, that where is it? Maybe I don't have it here. Yes. The Buddha once asked a group of 3 monks, "Are you living together on friendly and harmonious terms, as milk and water mixed together? Do you regard each other with affection?" And the monks said they were. And the Buddha said, "Well, how do you do this?" And they answered, "Since it has occurred to me," one of them answered, "since it occurred to me that I am fortunate to be living with others in the holy life, the practiced life, I have loving kindness towards them. In speech, conduct, and thought, I openly and privately extend my loving kindness." So, to live together like milk and water, harmoniously mixing together with others, is one of the benefits of loving kindness. So thank you, and look forward to being here tomorrow. And sorry I went over. It hasn't usually happened this way. And but the topic is love. So thank you.